Here live, and welcome to today's little mini webinar where we're going to be talking about more of those minor discomforts of pregnancy, as they call them, which often don't really feel like very minor, and some of the cures. Now, last week, some of the topics that we went over um, included, this is in the full deep dive video that I did as part of our inner circle, was bacterial vaginosis, breast pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, cloasma, constipation, diarrhea, hemorrhoids, hay fever, headaches, minor ones, indigestion, heartburn, and insomnia. And so if you want to get hold of any of that information, feel free to join our Essential Basics program where you get all these MotherWise MasterClass deep dives. This is just a little mini webinar and where we sort of introduce some of those topics. So I'm going to see if I can see what we can get through today in a few minutes. And so I will include a link at the bottom of this, which will tell you how to get to my full program if you want to have access to all of those full-length webinars. All right, so I'm going to run through a few things with you today. So firstly, leg cramps. That's really common in pregnancy. And some of the herbalism nutrition things that can be really good is a diet that's rich in magnesium is particularly helpful, plus some calcium, zinc, sodium, and potassium. So really, a good multivitamin is essential. And if you to prevent leg cramps, you can try sort of 3 times a day or so, leaning against the wall with your feet flat on the floor, and just to stretch out those muscles. For your homeopathy, you go to Remedy for leg cramps is Verit A, Nux vomica, Ledum, and Magphos. Then there's also a general blend that you could do of maybe sort of Magsolve, zinc, and Natrum myrrh, and that's another one that can work very well. So I guess sort of if it can be one of those things that's very individualized, so sometimes it's better to talk to your homeopath and see if there's something that would be better for your particular constitution on that one. Leukoria, which is increased vaginal discharge, very common in pregnancy, and it's just can be, some women find that they just need to wear pads the whole time in their pregnancy because of the constant sort of white discharge. It's not an infection, it's just increased secretions basically. So they are very common, but if they become sort of unpleasant or just intolerable, then there are some things that you can take with homeopathy. If you've got sort of copious white Leukoria with some backache, then Calc OVT is the one to go for there. Leukoria with urgent urination and abdominal thigh pain, then Mag Myrrh. Leukoria with constipation or a bit of a ruddy complexion, Natrum myrrh is your go-to. If the discharge is milky but sort of becomes watery, acidic, burning, then Pulsatilla. If it's like sort of thick, slimy egg white and it almost green, maybe it stains your clothing, Bovista is your cure there. Copious clear white or naturally very hot, borax, and greenish or thick, or profuse and watery and offensive, sepia is the remedy there. And thick and corrosive, meaning it just makes things sore down there, Sabina. If it's yellow, offensive, acrid, and causing itching and burning, Creosotum. If the burning and yellow stains the clothes, burning with a yellow stain to the clothes rather than previous one which was green, Calcarb is your remedy there. If it's a yellow-green discharge with excessive vulvar itching and almost like a bearing down kind of sensation in your pelvic floor there, then sepia is the remedy. Violently corrosive with vulvar itching and very offensive yellow discharge, staining clothing and combined with sort of lying or sitting feels better than standing, Creosotum. That's Kreasotum if you haven't heard of that one before. Discharge where the odour is able to be smelt at a distance. Hepasulf is your cure there. If it's post-coital, meaning post-sex, burning or stinging, staphysagria. And if it, then what I would say is do not use over-the-counter douche products with Leukoria, which can actually end up sort of worsening the imbalance. But a really good general combination blend in homeopathy is to mix together pulsatilla, sepia, candida albicans, creosotum, hepasulf. Put those all together and you've kind of covered all your bases. And you just take a couple of drops sublingually, so that's under your tongue, 3 to 4 times a day, or you could mix sort of 4 or 6 drops of it in a cup of warm water and shake it and just sip it throughout the day. And it's also okay to douche your vagina with that mixture. So that can be very helpful. So if you are not familiar with homeopathy, then everything I just said probably sounds like gobbledygook. But if you're not, it certainly could be some area that you want to learn more about, because homeopathy, particularly for babies, is so wonderful and they can be so responsive to it. And as far as modern medicine or empirical medicine is concerned, there is nothing in homeopathy because they're vibrational tinctures and there's no molecular structure, so basically you're giving your baby nothing. So there's no harm that can be caused, but we are at the end of the day primarily vibrational beings, and that's why I think homeopathy tends to work so well. Certainly was amazing with my kids growing up, amazing the stories I could tell. That's a whole other conversation. And I'm not a homeopath, but you know, you can easily find the stuff out for yourself, and hopefully those guides today to do with Leukoria, which is the extra vaginal discharge, I should say, gives you a little bit of a taste of how amazing getting the right remedy for the right symptom, and you can get results really quickly with it. So that's just a little overview today of those 2 topics. And to get more information, I would suggest joining our Inner Circle with our MotherWise Masterclasses, and that's by getting an Essential Basics subscription. So look, I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next week. Bye everybody. See you.